give you those practical everyday nuggets that you can use for your business. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. Welcome to another episode. It's like it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. I think that's a song, Mr. Lillard.
It's been a long time. We should have left you without a strong rhyme to step to.
Listen, at the end of the day, we are back. Go ahead and tell your friends, tell your family to jump on another episode of What's the Word Wednesday. I'm Eric E. Clifton. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. My co-host, go ahead, sir.
This is Roger the Dodger Lillard, Mr. Nugget himself.
Absolutely. And we have a special guest on with us on this evening, none other than the superstar herself. Go ahead and announce yourself to everybody.
So I need to give myself a title because I'm feeling left out. So I'm going to go ahead and name myself Katrina, the Hurricane Mary.
Katrina. Listen. I like how that one sounded. Go ahead and give us your name again, but say it this time like you mean.
And now introducing the 20th director on the Platinum Network, Katrina Hurricane Mary.
Listen. We are absolutely happy to have you on the call with us on this evening. It's a dynamic time right now. People right now are grinding. So I know a lot of people probably gonna be watching this on the replay. For those of you all who are watching us live right now, live on YouTube or live wherever you're at, great evening to you as well. Mr. Lillard, checking the chat so we can see who we got chiming in.
Looks like Danielle Winston and chimed in. Welcome. Elizabeth Shaw, Gail Stanford, Fonseca, Holman, Canetta, have chimed in so far, sir.
Awesome. So welcome. Mr. Leonard, go ahead and drop this week's announcements for the people.
Well, the first announcement is today, you all, I'm not going to be here with you all long, so this is my announcement. This is an announcement. Just hanging in with me. Verbally want to say congratulations to Katrina Merritt because she has become, like she said, the 21 star. So I wanted to say this verbally today because I'm not going to be here much longer this evening. Also, first announcement. Hey, the 7-year anniversary. Listen, the 8-year anniversary, you can't miss it. We had a CEO, Donald Bradley here, quarter of $250,000 earner, Walter Tiffany Powell. We had a $500,000 earner, JP Walker's in the building. So it was powerful information, powerful training, and it was very inspirational. Next up, we have our Platinum Network Awards ceremony coming up, I believe November 12th. Mr. Scott, I think he said it was like 40 or 50 tickets left, so you want to get your tickets ASAP. Get with your upline director for tickets. Platinum Retreat coming up also next month. I'm sure it's gonna be some fun. We're gonna be at the Planet Hollywood in Cancun, Mexico, right? And then convention. It changed my life, y'all. I can tell you that right now. And so I've been to at least 4 or 5 of these, but this last one literally put me in a mindset where it's go time, like right now. So those are my announcements for tonight.
I love it. And you need to clarify when you were talking about the what everyone needs to be in, where they need to be in attendance at next year, because you kind of said that really fast. Everyone needs to be. Where was you saying?
8-year anniversary. So if you have in your marketplace, you want to attend that.
Absolutely. Somebody is trying to call me during the middle of the show. All right. You know, it's always the kids, right? We just wanted to add this banner here. Boom, Platinum Anniversary Awards. you guys want to get your tickets now, I can't stress it enough. Get your tickets to the Platinum Anniversary Awards. You don't, if you're in the area, obviously you don't want to miss this event. So let's jump into it. We have a brand new one-star director on the call with us this evening. We got some questions for you, right? First question we have for you, Miss Hurricane. How long? Because you're one star now. We most of us have been on this side of the travel world for at least going on. Those of us who've been around for a minute, at least 6 years almost or more. How long or when was it when you got started? What day was that? What was the date?
Okay, so the day that I got started was August the 12th of 2020. The day that I start building, it wasn't until 6 months later because I did not know or understand anything about the Planet marketing side. I didn't, even though I signed up for both, I didn't know anything about helping people, sponsoring people in the business. I didn't know anything about it.
Okay. So now, 6 months after August, right?
Yes.
What's that, Roger? What month is that?
What is that? March?
I didn't feel like doing it.
No, January. January of 2021. Exactly.
January of 2021 is when you pulled the trigger, right? You pulled the keys out and said, I'm gonna drive this here vehicle that I got sitting in the driveway. In January of
I can give you the exact date. January the 27th, 28th, and 29th. I know the exact dates of my first partner. Yes, I will never forget it.
Awesome. Now, the reason I'm asking that is because, again, like I said, some of us have been sitting around for a while, right? And it doesn't matter when you get in. This is what I'm getting to. It doesn't matter when you decide I'm going to start moving and taking advantage of this opportunity. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you've been around for a while or you've been around and you're brand new. You can decide or make the decision to pull the trigger right now. And you did that in January of 2021. That is amazing. Yes. So again, we commend you. We salute you. Congratulations on that. And I know Mr. Lillard has a couple of questions for you. So go ahead and get your questions in, Mr. Lillard.
This a few questions, but I'm going to ask one now. Most directors have a why, right? And sometimes that why may not kick in right when you get started, because most people, we know most people get started because they want to travel as an insider versus outside. They want to travel as a merchant versus a consumer. But what is your why? So you're a director now. What is your why? Share with the folks, like, what is your why? What's moving you to go through? Because to get to one-star director, it's challenging. So, but there has to be something within you to get you through the challenges. What is your why?
So, it's funny you asking me this, because just last week when I was in Cancun with Miss Amani Scott, she asked me the same exact question, and my response, she said, "No, that can't be your why." I'm not really positively sure of my why. If I can be as honest as possible, but something is telling me to do this. Something is telling me to share this opportunity every day. I go to sleep to this business. I wake up to this business. It's like it's my purpose. I feel like it's my purpose. And everybody that has partnered up with me is just another life or another family that I'm helping in this business to be successful. So maybe that's my why. I can't give it to my, I'm doing this for my children, or that's not it. Something is pushing me to help, and I love it. It's like it brings me so much joy when I see my business partners, whether or not they directly connected to me or not. Like I interact with everyone on my team, and just to hear their success stories, it warms me. Like I'm excited. I be doing my own little dances. Like, yes, I had a piece of their success. Make that's what's motivating me. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna
So,
stop.
so
It's in me.
I think what I'm hearing is you have a passion, because right now you sound very passionate. You have a passion for helping people, and this is a vehicle. If some people don't know that, this is a vehicle that if you have passion, you can help people on not just in your circle, but on a global scale. So that's good. That's good. Back to you, Eric.
So listen, what I'm hearing, and just as I was, when we had our conversation earlier today, and we dug a little deeper into your response, and then within your response, you kind of answered the question that you were asking me earlier today. And in the same vein, I'm gonna present this to you to help you with your why. We were talking about your job, right? Well, no, first we were talking about discipline, right? Talking about discipline because you were expressing or concerns or talking about different forms of motivation or lack thereof.
I
And
can
right,
talk about it. I can talk about it. So I was explaining to E Cliff that in Baltimore City, and I never really shared my background. I'm a law enforcement officer with in Baltimore City, and basically any news that you ever hear about Baltimore City is just always negative. And it's like I'm always surrounded by it. And if I can help, and I've been doing my job for 27 years, 27 years. And this business has allowed me to put like a barrier block around the negativity. So when I'm at work, I'm always thinking about who I can help next, what trip I'm going on next, because I'm gone every month. I'm in somebody else state or country, and I'm always doing it. But when I'm actually doing it, it brings peace for me because I'm helping other people. But it also brings peace. I'm seeing the world. I never even traveled before until I entered this business. Never been out of the country till I entered this business, and I
okay.
can't stop.
Now again, you talking about that passion, and this is good. But what I'm getting at is the specific part that we was talking about when we were talking about those cold and rainy days and scenarios when people don't want to go to work. They would rather be at home, right? And when I said that, you lit up and you was like, yes, because you don't want to be at work technically. You'd rather be doing something
Doing
else. You'd
this.
rather be and what you said while you at work, I guess you at work, but all day you're thinking about this. So when you think about what your why is, the question becomes, okay, if this vehicle starts paying you enough money that to where your job is kind of getting in your way, now you get the ability to make the decision. I don't like Mr. Scott and some of us others have said now I can give that job back to the economy. And that the fact that your stomach cringes at whatever time it is in the morning when you got to get up and it's cold outside and you'd rather not, that's your why. That's your motivation. Sometimes you got to make it personal. Yes, on the backside, you want to help everybody else, but what's the saying, Mr. Lillard? If you can help many people get what they want, you're gonna get what you want by default, right? But now
Right.
the question is to be specific about in looking in the mirror and knowing what you want. You know you'd rather not be at work or however many hours a day that you're working. One way,
I can
ladies
be
and gentlemen.
honest. Normally, I be at work because a lot of people ask me this question too, and I know some travel agents have asked me this as well. Like, how are you always gone? But
Mhm.
what y'all don't see, I leave out my house at like 6:30, 6:45. By the time I come back home, it's 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm literally working 16-hour days.
Mm.
16 Monday through Sunday. Okay, Monday through I'm normally work. It's like no in between. It's I'm at work or I'm at home doing this business. I'm at work. I'm at home doing this business. I do the business before I go to work. I'm on my lunch break. I'm doing it. It's like it the balance is rewarding. It's rewarding. It
Abs-
is.
I got a quick question before I jump off here because I got to jump off in a few seconds. My last question is going to be, where do you see yourself, knowing what you know now? You're a one-star director. You got the Planet Marketing Pledge now, right? That's life changing for yourself and your family. Where do you see yourself um, in your business? Where do you see yourself headed to? How far are you going to take yourself in this business?
I mean, I'm not sure what a 7-star director look like, but a 6-star director sure do look good to me. Shoot. Now I already know when I get the 3-star, I know what that looked like too. I heard a lot of the 3-star stories, so I'm just trying to make sure I duplicate. Like, it took a little time for my team to understand, you know, this part of the business, because you know I love them, but they got the travel thing, you know, down pat. But the sponsoring people side or the building side, they like, man, you know, it was a little, I don't know about it. But now that they getting a little taste and see what you get, they like, nah. I just got off the phone with one of my business partners that's about to go 2020. We already talked about her going DIT before the year's out. And I got 2. I'm trying to push 2 DITs before the year's out. And she already told me, I'm gunning for you. I want to be a 1-star. All because of the 7-year anniversary that we just went to. Yeah, she like, yeah, I'm gunning for you. She's gunning. And that's the one thing I love about this business, y'all. And I'm pretty sure y'all done drop this nugget all the time. That's the one thing, no matter where you are, no matter when you came on. Again, me and Eric talked about this earlier. I'm a whole COVID baby. I don't know about the in-person meetings. I'm not familiar with it. He encouraged me to come out and, you know, watch how it works. He dropped a lot of nuggets. Like, I got a lot of notes in my book right here. I was taking a lot of notes for him earlier today, and I cannot wait to see how far I can actually go and how far my team will actually push themselves to go as well. And people really have a misconception of how you can move with this business. A lot of people have reached out to me in other businesses and asked me to join their business as well, because they seen how I be moving, they seen how I motivate people. I'm like, nah, Jack, I'm loyal to this. I ain't going nowhere. Nah, I'm great.
One of the 14 pillars that they went over at the 7th anniversary on Saturday. So, Eric, Katrina, congratulations. I appreciate you jumping on here with us on this evening. I gotta go, you two. Salute to you, Katrina.
Thank you. And Roger, honestly, I appreciate you too, because you started out right off the rip. You seen something in me before I seen it myself, and you've been helping me since I became a gold star. You've been right there, and I appreciate you for that. You never left my side.
Each one teach one. And always remember this, everybody. You know, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to cross the finish line. It's cross the finish line, because once you cross it, it's the same for everybody. So, with that being said, I got to rock. Y'all take care. God bless.
Well, thank you very much.
Eric, y'all take care, man. And hey, 2-star next. Y'all take care.
Yeah. All right.
All right, brother. We appreciate you, sir. All right, boom. We ain't got Mr. Leonard out the room now. We can talk about him, right? I'm just kidding. But listen,
yeah, I appreciate you putting me on this platform, honestly, because I've never had an opportunity to actually tell him, like, on this type of platform, thank you, because he did reach out to me after the cookout last year when I was in a whole nother state, and he was like, you have a lot of potential, and if you need anything, if you want any help, feel free to reach out to me. And he's not even in. No, I think I just found out today that I fall under you. So, but yes, I just found that out today. But
no,
he has no. no ties with me. What, like, he's not benefiting off of me whatsoever. And he was one of the few directors. It was a lot of directors that some kind of way I just started falling under. Man, I love the Platinum Network, man. I do.
At the end of the day, what you are describing is the culture that those of us, I guess, if you would, the founding leaders of this Platinum Network, that's the culture that we try to exhibit to everyone and teach that same. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It would be selfish of me not to tell you the same things that I would tell anybody else, especially since most of what I learned came from a book any daggone way, right?
Right.
I'm not giving you nothing that's not already out there. I'm just saving you a trip from having to go find it yourself in most cases, right? And that type of planting of seeds will reap rewards in the long term. Ultimately, what we are looking for within side of the Platinum Network, and I can speak for Mr. Scott on this case, we're looking for long-term partnerships, right?
Right.
When I say long-term, I mean like 20 years later, we're going to be talking about, remember that time Katrina came to the daggone Super Saturday, 15 minutes after almost a fatal car accident, and she crawled into the Super Saturday, sat on the front row with her crutches and her leg about to fall off. And she was on the front row. Y'all think I'm exaggerating, but I'm telling the truth. Miss Katrina, crazily, pressed her way out to a Super Saturday event in the Maryland area moments after being in I think you totaled your car, correct?
Yes.
Moments
I did. I
after
totaled my Mercedes.
Car accident and still pressed her way out. I promise you, if ever there was an excuse not to make it to an event, that anyone wouldn't have said anything sideways. I heard people saying, well, you know what? They said it was going to rain and I thought my basement might flood, so I can't make it to the joint just in case, right? I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. Not that excuse is not a good enough one. I'm just saying, we took that one with the rain and the water. Yours was amazing, and you pressed through. Speaking of press through and transition to this question, Roger talked about it being a difficult road to get into one-star directorship. For some people, it can be, especially if you don't already have a circle of influence, if you don't already have a team with you, if you're not already the pastor or in some management position, it can be hard to build from scratch an organization of 100 individuals. You did that. So talk about some of the challenges. Matter of fact, talk about this specific one, because you got that full-time crazy job with 16 plus hours a day. Talk about the sacrifice and the challenges that you made it through in finding the time in the same 24 hours that everybody else is listening to us has. You found the time to do it anyway. Talk about that sacrifice. How'd you do it?
So I'm gonna start from the beginning about January. I didn't know how to sign anyone up. I tried to make a couple of phone calls to figure that out. I was very transparent about I didn't know what I was doing. I think for my first 9 people, I explained to everybody, I don't know what I'm doing, but you bear with me, we can figure it out together. And I think at my first 3 partners, I was thrown in a boot camp. And I didn't know what the boot camp was. And I know Preston, if he see this, he gonna bust out laughing. But again, I think the first week everything was fine because of my law enforcement background and the police academy. When you get an assignment, like, you don't have a choice but to complete it. It's still the prime military, you know, line. Like, you do what you're being told. So one of the challenges, we had to read a couple of chapters, and I read reports and I write reports all day long. So I just was not feeling that part. So I said, you know what? It was an option. Either you complete the challenges or you sponsor 3 more people and you get out of the boot camp. So I said, oh, let me go find 3 more people. And I got out of there. Everybody was laughing at me. I told them, listen, y'all, see y'all by next week. I'm out. Sure enough, I turned two of them were my clients, and one of them is a really good childhood friend of mine. I said by Friday at 12 o'clock, I need everybody to have some money to sign up with this business. We gonna figure it out together. They said okay. They still my business partners to the day. So, and I think I did. They put me in another boot camp, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like again now, and I'm not encouraging nobody to do exactly what I did hop out. I'm not, because when I started to do, as I became a DIT, we were all in like a leadership boot camp, and I knew Mr. Scott. One of the ways for me to get out was I hurry up and get. If you told me a number that people that I needed, I could complete that task. No, he said, you ain't jumping out of this. You really got to read. And I was not going to allow me not taking the time to read these books. And it just wasn't one book, it was two books. To read these books to hold me back from graduating. And in the middle of that process, I experienced one of the one things I dreaded my entire life with my oldest child, and it was to watch another mom identify her child. And I was completely distraught. I was completely not in a good headspace, and I was in this boot camp. And I reached at this time, I'm like working hand in hand with Mr. Scott, and he like, I tried to talk to him like, hey, listen, I'm not in a good headspace, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to do it. And he was like, well, listen, I can't make up no excuse for you. Like, you the same as everybody else. You either do it or you don't. Like, the consequences. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for that, because even down to me going 1-star, that lesson right there, and that's why I came after my accident, that lesson right there, that one, he said, I cannot change the rules for you, because if there's something that you really want, this is what you got to do. Becoming a 1-star director, I actually wanted to become a 1-star director before convention. That's what my goal was. But if I didn't, I definitely was going to make 1-star before that 7th year anniversary. And I did that. I completely zoned out. I blocked everything out. Down in convention, I went to class, but after class, I didn't party with nobody. I didn't have dinner with nobody. I had stuff delivered to my room. I was on the phone with my team. I was checking in with people. Nothing else mattered. I straight focused on that task of me becoming a 1-star director, because I was all the way up. At that point, nothing was going to stop me. And the challenges before that, I love it. I'm still working. I just found out that one of our business partners, Miss Twanita, because at one point in time I was trying to run her down. I just found out that she almost had 2-star. I'm like, oh goodness, I got some work to do. So listen, and maybe it's the competitive sport in me. I'm only in competition with myself. I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm not out here trying to win the best friends award. I'm not out here to try to win the best director. I'm just being me. I'm just being me. I love the experience. I love, especially being in this position now. The way you guys have wrapped your arms around me is just amazing, man. I wouldn't give this up for the world.
But listen, we say it all the time. It's not a cliche. We absolutely appreciate each and every one of you all's partnership. Ultimately, at the end of the day, everybody, you got something that you can provide to the organization. Some of y'all just don't know you're sitting on some good stuff. And Miss Katrina, you are a dynamic 1-star director. You dropped a lot of nuggets that I hope didn't fly over people's head. That at the end of the day, you were talking about focusing, sounding like you put on the daggone blinders like the horses do in the races to pay attention. You didn't allow the fact that you had a full-time job interfere with the fact that you said you was going to become a 1-star. You focused on it and you did everything that you had to do to make until it happened. I also heard sacrifice. You wasn't partying, you wasn't hanging out, You said you wasn't doing all of those things. You was going to the meetings, taking notes. You taking notes even when we was talking. I didn't even know that you was taking notes. So you
Yes.
and they say note takers are money makers, right? So these things that you're doing, you're staying connected in the hip pocket of leadership, which means you're communicating. Because I promise you, Mr. Scott is not calling you every day, right? So this
No, I'm
means
calling him. I'm
because
I'm
you're
I'm calling him. I'm definitely
absolutely.
calling him. When I'm too quiet, he'll send me a message. Hey fam, you good? And that's the one thing I definitely give our 4-star director. Not even just you know Mrs. Scott as well. Like they have always always reached out to me and said, "You good? You need anything? All right, come on, let's go. Buckle down, let's go." I give it to him. I don't know if that happens for everybody else. I don't know. Um, what they showed me is what I give my team, and that's what pushed and encouraged me more because I love on my team. I never speak about myself. I'll talk about my team before I even say anything about me. This is a win for us. This is a win for all of us because all of us became a 1-star director, not just Katrina Merrick. Every last one of us became a 1-star director, and they feel good about it. They are just as proud as me. They was calling me director at DIT, and I'm still not used to the fact that I'm a director now. When somebody say Director Merrick, I'm like, woo, I'm still trying to get used to that.
They was calling you director at DIT. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another nugget right there. The reason they were calling you director at DIT is because at that moment you were exemplifying, or whatever that word is I'm looking for. I think that's the one. But you were showing them and leading by example. You were doing the activity of what a leader or a director should be doing. And you was doing that before you got the title. And that's what typically happens in most leadership positions. If that's your plan, or if that's what's going to happen, you'll typically find the person operating in that capacity long before they get to that position. So if you're a bronze builder and you desire to be a gold builder, well, how are the gold builders moving and operating? And if you're a
Yep.
gold and you desire to be a DIT, how are the DITs moving and operating? The same thing with the DITs wanting to be a 1-star director. How are they moving and operating? And I'm glad that you are basically just as blunt as me, with expressing, what really happened, what really transpired. Listen, we're not going to be before you guys long. We do have an amazing showcase tonight at 8:30. So what I would like to do for this closing remarks, let you go ahead and get about 30 seconds and encourage the new people. You love helping people. There are some people that are listening right now that haven't hit the position they want. Or there's some people right now whose job or life is just so time consuming, and they're struggling putting those blinders on just for a little while. You ain't got to do it forever, but for a little while to get across that mark. So speak to those people and encourage them so that they can move on to that next level.
So I definitely want to put it out there for because people did wrap their arms around me, and I don't have a problem with giving that same energy for whoever may be lost, whoever may be sitting on the side, whoever may be not speaking about, when they feel like they are just at a stop. You can communicate with me. Trust me. I'm like this all the time. Man, Art talk for the first time within what 2 years, a
It
year.
ain't been that daggone long on the phone. We talked in person.
Well, yeah, listen, reach out to me. I'm telling you, don't give up. That's the one thing I can say. Do not give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't get mad or upset if somebody feel like now is just not the right time. Everybody will do something. Everybody. You guys got to be a little bit empathetic to what your team may be going through. And then take in consideration some things that you may go through. They just might not have it that month. The question is, what could you do to help to make sure they have it the next month, and the next month, and the next month, and the next month? So that's something I'm big on. I'm constantly strategizing. I don't have any problem helping anybody else strategizing. Again, I had directors helping me strategize. I had directors not knowing when I'm sitting scratching my head like, man, how I'm gonna get this done. And I'll get a phone call from Erica Bowie saying that you all right, sis? I'll get a phone call from LaCheryl. You good? I haven't heard from you. What's going on? I have a call from my brother from another mother, Mr. Marvin Moore. Man, we fight like cats and dogs. All right, what you doing now? You with me? You rolling? What you doing? So it took Erica Miller. I can't forget about my baby, my travel bestie, Erica Miller. Erica, she said, your win is my win. Again, it was my success was their success. That's the same thing Marvin said. I felt like once you became a 1-star, we became a 1-star. Again, once you have it, whether or not they connected to you or not, I'm trying to tell you, it takes a village. It takes a village, y'all. If you got people in your corner that can wrap their arms around you, hold on to them. Mr. Scott already know I'm holding on to his coattail, and Mrs. Scott know that I'm right there with her, burning her ears up. We be laughing. I know some of the stuff I'm probably not supposed to be saying out my mouth, but I be tickling her pig. But anyway, it's me, and she told me, Katrina, be you. I love your personality. I love everything about you. When I was trying to be put in a cage, I'm not a caged bird. You can't cage me. You gotta let me fly and watch me win. You either going to win with me and roll with me, or just let me be. Just let me be. I'll leave you over there to the side. I'm gonna help everybody that's ready to go. So hey, listen, let's rock. I see a lot of directors, y'all. You cannot give up. You just can't. You just can't.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up again one more time for Miss Katrina Hurricane Murray.
All right, wait, I do have one question though. One question.
Go ahead.
Are you going to give me your? Oh, I forgot to say, Miss my 2-star Deborah Bar. I love her. And Bunny put the whip on me. Something terrible. I don't know how many times. Oh my God, yes she did. She
put the whip on you.
Yes. Get yourself together, girl. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I am going to ask whether or not the circle of love that I get, and Killer Cam, I can't forget her either. Would you mind being a part of that circle of love? Because like I said, I got a lot of mentors. They all come at me at different times, but they all keep me straight, man. Every last one of them. I can't take that from them.
Listen, I told you earlier on the phone. Look, you're a little cousin. You gonna get a couple of them. You gonna get some of them too. You know. See, here's the thing, right? Most of us, like Preston, myself, and Roger, we typically ask people. It really doesn't matter if you're sideline or not, but usually if you're downline. But in most people's cases, we need permission to coach you. I'll encourage any and everybody, right? But when we start talking about literally, let me give you some, let me. Everybody's skin is not, tough enough to handle some of. Okay, let me give you the 100. This what it is, right? This what you got to do. Some people take offense to it, right? You got to be willing and ready and able to receive, and then have an ear to listen and hear your coach.
You see, and I said it in front of Mr. Donald Bradley. Immediately after I got struck, I was T-boned, and I hydroplaned in the air, and I was about to hit a house. The only thing I heard in my ear was Preston. He wasn't even there. Preston saying, I need you to get yourself together. You got to make it tomorrow. And I thought my leg was broke. The ambulance people, they said I was okay. I didn't have to go to the hospital. I got my way home, and I started getting myself prepared the next day. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell him because I knew he was going to tell me to stay home. I didn't tell him Mr. Monk. I didn't tell any of them that I was in a car accident. They found out when they watched me walk through that door. The only person knew was my son. The people on my team didn't even know, because I know how much they love me.
they would have came to my house and they would have stopped me from me leaving that door, and we wouldn't have been there. So I held it. Oh,
see that right there. That's exactly what. In all due respect, that's what should happen. You kind of knew you really just wanted to make it out there to the thing, but because you just like athletes, and I think there's something I heard happened recently to an athlete that probably shouldn't have went back in the game. I'm ready to go, coach, and he went back in the game and shouldn't have, and really now is probably a whole lot more hurt than he was, and for what the team needed him, but they need him 5 years from now too, right? So we needed you there, but we need you there next year too, right? Next time you get in the car accident and you thinking about that, instead of hearing Mr. Scott's voice, I need you to hear this.
Listen, Mr. Scott already told me last night now that if you something happen like this again, you just don't come. You stay on. So I said, okay.
Exactly.
I got it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've done enough. We appreciate each and every one of you for taking a look at this showcase on this evening. If you're watching the replay, what's good to you? Sorry you wasn't catching it live, right? We'll be right back here on the third Wednesday again. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you excelling and moving to the next level in your business. Have a blessed and prosperous week. We will be back. Outro music. That means we're getting up out of here. Yeah. You leave them nice and cool as you can. And we'll be back.